Okay, let's see if we can actually get this in to the back of the car. So I've had the GT3 Touring for about a month now. I got it so I could carry my family around. As you can see, it was a struggle to get the car seat in. Now imagine doing that with a 2.5-year-old by your side saying, Daddy, I want to get in the Porsche. And then when you do get your 2.5-year-old in the car, you can't put anyone in front of them because there's no space. You see, like I said, I bought it to carry my family around. And one thing I've noticed about it is that I can't carry my family around. So when Porsche said to me, oh, look, Tommy, do you want to try something different, something new, something exciting, the Panamera Turbo S Hybrid? I said, yeah, because you know what? This is a car I can actually carry my family around in. Now, I have a long and storied history with Porsche Panameras. My first Panamera I purchased in 2014, and it was a Panamera diesel. Sluggish, but it got the job done. I was doing a lot of miles at the time as I was still in my DJ phase of my life. I then went on to a Panamera S Hybrid later on. That, again, a great car, underpowered, but it managed to do the exact job I wanted it to. Coming to today, we are in a Panamera Turbo S Hybrid. So this car has 771 horsepower. It can do 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds whilst carrying your family around. Now you probably expect this car to feel heavy, and it is heavy. It's over 2.2 tons. However, Porsche have developed a system that allows the car to hide its weight better than ever. Porsche have developed the Active Ride suspension system, a 2-valve shock absorber with an air spring on top that allows the car to shift its weight effortlessly. The system is only available on e-hybrid models as it requires a lot of power to run, but because of this system, it makes driving over bumps or uneven surfaces a thing of the past. And when I say a thing of the past, I really mean it, because going over bumps literally becomes something that's imperceptible. It dials out all the imperfections on the road perfectly, and it also means that when you accelerate hard, the car doesn't pitch up, and when you brake hard, the car doesn't dive. Like this. So as you can see, we stayed pretty flat during that whole experience, and that's because the suspension system is working overtime to ensure that the ride is as comfortable and as easy as possible. Now you may say, Tommy, but when you're on a track or when you're launching or when you're braking hard, you want the weight to transfer, and that is true. But once you put the car in Sport Plus, the Active Ride Control switches its brain to a Sport Plus mode, meaning that instead of a comfort focused ride, you get a performance one. And performance, it has in spades. Jesus. You see, with 771 horsepower, a 0 to 60 time of 2.9 seconds, and a 21.9 kilowatt hour battery, all those things put together mean that this car can pretty much accelerate itself out of any issue you will ever face. And then when you want the car to be calm again, it does that perfectly. Thanks to the hybrid battery, you can have the car cruising along in absolute silence. And with a range of 40 miles, real world range in front of me, you could pretty much use this to drive around into town, out of town. You never really even have to turn the engine on unless you want to do something crazy, like launch control. But who's going to do that in a 2.2 ton Panamera? That is so sick. Now, what does an almost 911 cost the average human being? Well, you may be thinking historically, the Panamera, the less desirable car, would probably cost less and would probably be the more affordable option. No, that's not the case in this model. Now, if you want a GT3 Touring like mine in an identical spec, it will cost you 197 Great British pounds. And if you want a Panamera like this one in an identical spec, you will save yourself £1,000 because this car is 196,000 Great British pounds as listed. Oh no, a very bumpy road track, we're gonna have issues. No, we're not, because I'm just gonna put the car in lift mode and suspension is gonna do the rest. It's like we're in an SUV right now. And like I said, when you want it to be comfortable again, you just slip it in any mode you want, and then the chassis and the suspension system will work together to ensure that you have a relaxed ride. So usually when we do these videos, cameraman Nathan mounts the camera on the inside of the car. But I said, as an experiment, today, let's not do it. So how are you finding it?
Yeah, pretty stable.
Yeah, well, you see? Let's see how stable it is on this very bumpy road. So the suspension system is in the most comfortable mode right now, and it's doing a lot to dial out all these bumps. I've been on this road with several different cars. I can tell you it's a complete different experience in the Panamera Turbo Hybrid because of the active ride control. This car is more comfortable than my BMW i7, but that's not what we're talking about today. Instead, is this car a better tourer than a GT3 Touring? Now, compared to the GT3 Touring, this car is in no way as pretty to look at. It's in this Madeira gold color, a color that is, dividing the audience down the middle. Some people love it, some people hate it. It has grown on me, although if I was to get this car, I would definitely not spec it in this color. It has a longer 911-esque style, but something has never looked right about the Panamera. A lot of people think that it just looks a bit strange. I often got the comparison of a dog getting ready to do it. However, I like the design, and I think a lot of people are growing onto the Panamera shape. Now, is it a better GT3 Touring than the GT3 Touring? In a lot of ways, yes, it is. I think if you genuinely want a touring 911, this is probably the car you should go for. It's more practical, it's more comfortable, it's just as fast in a straight line, and almost as exciting to drive, especially with the active ride support system. And if you're like me and you have little human beings that you need to carry around, you can get them in the back with ease. Now, I'm 6 foot, and this is my driver's seat in the position that I would drive in. I have tons of space, and I also have tons of headroom. The seats are comfortable. This car is optioned in a 4-seat configuration, although you can get it in 5, which is probably what I would recommend for you. However, if you do get it in the 4-seat configuration, you get a cool little touch screen here that, I don't know, it just allows you to do stuff. Cool. Now, the car uses the same 4-litre twin turbocharged V8 that you find in a lot of the Volkswagen Group products. It's the same engine I have in my Lamborghini Urus Performante, the same engine I had in my Can Turbo GT, and the same engine we had in our Bentley Continentals. Now, you see, one thing about this is that you get engine fatigue, and it starts to become the same sound, the same characteristics, the same pickup. However, in this example, Porsche have managed to not only make the engine feel different, but also sound different. The Panamera also features 4-wheel steering that allows the car to feel a lot smaller than its 5-meter length when navigating at low speeds or in tight spaces than when you're cruising on the motorway or on track. All wheels will turn in the same direction to again make the car feel a lot snappier and a lot more direct. Now, one of my favorite features on the car, and an option that I feel like Porsche developed to entice people away from SUVs, is that the active ride suspension system, when you open the door, the car jumps up to greet you to make it easier to get inside. It's like the car's excited to see you every time you look at it. Now, the car is amazing, the suspension is amazing, but it's not all perfect. So there are a few things about this car that I don't like. The Turbonite badge on the front of the car. Initially when it was announced, it was really cool, but now I'm like, just please give us back our regular Porsche badge, please. Another thing is that this car has dual plane acoustically insulated glass. It's great, it isolates you from the outside, but it also means your phone gets hardly any signal. Also, Porsche still insists on using gloss back, and it's everywhere, and it's very annoying because it just looks horrible. Now, these are minor inconveniences, and they would not put me off of buying a Panamera. You see, this car is underrated, underappreciated. I wanted to say undervalued, but it's very expensive. But you know what? I think a lot of people think they want a 911 when in fact, maybe this is what you actually need.